Hi, I'm Tommy Scott.
And I'm Rita Cook, and welcome to this week's edition of Ellis County TV. So this week is all about animals running wild in the city of Ferris. We have an interview with Lynn Baxley, who is very, very adamant about talking about the dog problem here.
Yes, he is.
And then there's a lovely lady named Linda who came to talk about forgotten ferals. So they did say that they hired an animal control officer in Ferris, and apparently that animal control officer, I don't know what happened to the person, because Lynn called yesterday and nothing came of it. So there's a really long 1,200 word feature in the paper this week about the animal control issue and some of the things that need to be done in order for this city to sort of get it together.
Right.
So, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that the problem is dog owners. If you really don't want a dog, take my advice, don't go get one.
Right.
Because it's going to cause problems, and if they're all running loose all over the city and everywhere, and pooping in people's yards and doorsteps and chasing little kids down and biting them and all this good stuff.
All the stuff that's happened lately.
Yeah, so,
right.
Put your dogs up. If you don't put your dog up, if you can't afford the dog, take it to a shelter somewhere and give it to someone. But just don't turn it loose out there, because they're causing problems.
Exactly. Now, it's been confirmed that there are 30 pet owner registrations in Ferris, and I think there's probably a lot more animals than that.
Oh, yes, of course.
You have to get your pet registered every year, so that's an issue. I think they've given out 4 citations since in the past year.
At this time, in this day and age, this is not the 60s and the 70s anymore.
Right.
You know, where we could just let our dog out and put him in the
Right.
back, put him on a chain. The laws have exceeded itself and changed up a lot when it comes to owning animals. And basically it's because people fell in love with pet bulls now. Pet bulls, you just can't turn them out and let them run around. That's just not a dog you do that with, okay?
Not at all.
And so, in any dog, you need to put it up if you know it has aggressive intentions.
Right, the tendencies, because sometimes that's how they're bred. It's not
Yeah.
even, and I think a lot of times it's the owner. I believe more and more that the owner is the one that needs to, be
Address this problem.
Yeah. And like Lynn had mentioned, if you can't afford to pay a citation, then think about the fact that you really just need to make sure your dog or even your cat stays inside, or your ferret or your rat or whatever it is that you have. Just don't let it free.
Yeah,
So,
please don't.
Right. So speaking of Ferris again, there's another article in the paper, and it's basically about the city manager, Bill Jordan, who I'm sure we all know and love at this point. So he actually was publicly censored last week by the International City Managers Association for Code of Ethics violations. In short, it seems the association does not believe he is a very good model of conduct. Jordan's response was basically, this is just ICMA's opinion, and the city has looked into this issue and moved forward. That's what his comment was. I know we all make mistakes, but when you're publicly reprimanded for something as important as trying to run a city, you could at least be a little humble about it. I mean, okay, so we make mistakes, we do. But when you don't try to do anything about it, and this is not just this city manager, this is any city manager, any public employee that is like representing a city. It's really crazy. But it still comes back to the city council and what they're willing to accept from their employees, because it's a bad situation.
Well, yeah. Anytime you have a problem with ethics and you're dealing with high-profile jobs.
Exactly.
Now, high-profile jobs brings bigger responsibilities. And if you don't do the right thing, and you don't say the right thing, and you do things to incriminate yourself, then quite naturally the public and anyone else is going to take offense.
Right.
And then that's when the attacks come in, and they start complaining. And you notice when you do these things, if you do these things, people gonna get in an uproar about it, and it's gonna cause a problem, and then you put yourself up for failure.
Exactly.
If you don't want to get caught up doing bad things, don't do bad things.
Right.
Because nowadays, once you do it, I mean, if you look at all the movie stars and stuff, they've been nailed into the wall. I mean, and some of these people don't know about how the money they got, and they nail them to the wall.
Right.
So if you do some bad things, right now, social media comes at you.
Right. Exactly.
It's a lot of social media now, so you have to be careful what you do, what you say, and where you say it and where you do it. Because social media is everywhere.
And let's just be clear about the fact that social media is not always accurate.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that's part of the problem with social media these days. But we do know that some of the things that have happened in Ferris is accurate, and it just would simply be nice if people would, when you run for public office, when you're in a position like city manager, you do have a responsibility as a journalist, as doing this TV show. We have responsibility to have some integrity and some honor. And I hope that I never fall by the wayside. But if I do, I hope that I have that I'm humble enough, as I'm sure you do too, that we, say we're wrong, we say we're sorry, and we try to figure out how to make it better.
Yeah. Well, when you take a position, any position, dealing with the public and dealing with politics, when you take that, you better understand.
It comes with a lot of.
It comes with a lot of. It can get bad.
Right.
If you do bad things.
Exactly.
If you have to dot your I's and cross your T's. That's what they always told us in school. All right, remember to dot your I's and cross your T's because you might come back to this.
Right. Exactly.
So, to be a professional is not hard. It's just you have to be willing to give a lot of yourself.
Right. Right.
And you have to give it in the right way.
Exactly.
And if you're not going to do that, then you're going to cause more problems than really exist. So the best thing to do is don't do these things, and then you won't be up before the gun.
Right, right.
Exactly. As the guy said, it ain't so much fun when the rabbit got the gun. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
You heard that. Okay. So moving on. Also, in this week's paper, TxDOT is going to be holding a public meeting later this week to discuss FM 664. The idea is that they're going to widen 7.8 miles of the road from 287 in Waxahachie to Westmoreland in Ovilla. And some of the people in Ovilla are a little bit upset about that. The mayor did have some comment about that. It's a 2-lane road right now, and they want to turn it into a 6-lane road. And, Ovilla is a small town, and they're very, very proud of their town, and they don't want that to infringe upon the property owners. That's fair enough. I don't know. They said it's going to be 3 years before the project will be finished, and I think the end of the year before they'll even going to know if it's going to happen. So, but it is progress. I mean, this area is in a state of progress right now, and I think that some of the people in this area are not aware and don't want that.
Okay, 6 lanes from where now?
It's from 287 in Waxahachie to Westmoreland Road. So
287 in Waxahachie to Westmoreland. Okay.
7.8 miles of the road from 287 in Waxahachie to Westmoreland and Ovilla on 664. So it's a lot of work. I mean, 7.8 miles is quite a bit of work, so I hope they have all this planned. I'm sure they do. It's TxDOT. But, like I said, it's happening. It's happening whether we like it or not. This area is booming.
Here's the deal. A lot of companies are moving here because of the weather's a lot better.
Right.
And people can go to work and they don't have to shut down as much when the weather's bad. A lot of places up north they're poor states. Some of them, a lot of them, you can say, people say, well, I want to go to a better place.
Right.
I really,
Yeah.
I met people when I was taking a bus from Colorado, and it was 30 people from Michigan on this bus coming to Texas to live in Fort Worth.
Wow.
And they said the lady said the reason why she was doing it because she wanted her grandkids to be able to live past 15. Can you imagine moving out because you want your grandkids to live past 15?
Wow.
So we're going to get a lot of people coming in here. It's a lot of people trying to get into America. It's a lot of people trying to get to Texas. Everybody wants a better life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I've been blessed with one.
Right. So have I.
So I can't really mock the next person that wants one. That would be wrong. But the area is growing. Ferris is going to grow. Everything is growing now because everything's heading south. They went for north that they can pretty much go unless they're going to run into Oklahoma now.
Exactly.
I mean, come on,
Yeah, so it's only logical to come this way. The land is beautiful here, and there's a real, I think with the train track, Wilmer and Hutchins is taking advantage of that with the.
Well, if you think about it, we're sitting right dead middle where it takes us 15, 20 minutes to go anywhere we want to go.
Exactly.
We go downtown Dallas in what? 20 minutes?
20 minutes on a good day if there's no traffic.
You can go to Mesquite in what? 20, 30 minutes?
Maybe less than that.
Yeah, you go to Fort Worth in what? 45 minutes?
Probably a little bit longer than
A little bit longer.
depending on the traffic again, because traffic is worse than when I lived in LA.
Yeah, cause they add more roads, but then more people just come and fill them up.
Right. So they really have to. You just have to consider progress.
Progress.
So, all right. Let's see. What's our next story here? Local State Representative John Ray has filed legislation that would remove any unnecessary restrictions preventing community colleges from offering a bachelor's degree. And I think that's a really good idea. Now you can only get an associate's degree. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of concerns and a lot of people in Austin right now working on our education, including Carl Sherman, State Representative Carl Sherman. So I like the idea of that. So
what are you telling me now?
Well, you can only get an associate's degree from a community college at this point. But he wants to open it up to where you can also get a bachelor's degree, a 4-year degree instead of a 2-year, instead of having to go from community college to a university.
Well, I'm not going to say that's a bad idea because they got it now where they advertise colleges on TV. You just go online.
Right.
You don't even go to a classroom.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, you getting degrees. Now, I don't know if they know everything they're supposed to know by doing this.
I actually
but,
did that when I was getting my degree. And, it's really about how hard you're willing to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're passing the test and you're not cheating.
Right.
And you studying, now, if I got a heart surgeon getting heels on there, I don't think I'm going to go to him and have him cut my chest open, okay? I mean, I'm just not even feeling that one, all right? Now, if you want to be a lawyer, I don't want you defending me if they got me on trial for murder.
You only got an online degree?
I only got an online degree? Come on, man. I mean, come on, give me a break here.
Right.
You know that's right,
No,
too.
I agree with you there.
Really?
I do agree with you, yes.
I mean, because, you go in there and he say, well, hey, I need a heart operation. He said, well, you know what? I need to go in there and fix your heart. Okay, well, what's your degree? Oh, I got it online. Oh, yeah, okay, just cut me open.
Okay, all right. Thank you for those words of wisdom.
What is the truth?
Okay, the Red Cross is needing type O blood. There's a severe shortage right now. So if you're inclined, I can't give blood because it makes me faint. But they need it, and there's going to be Red Oak is having a blood drive on March 21st at the high school, and Waxahachie's having one later this week at Baylor Medical Center. So yeah. So I'm encouraging everyone. So let's talk a little bit about sports.
Okay.
We're talking about cheerleading.
Okay.
And the Red Oak High School cheerleaders have.
Well, Ellis County did well this year in the cheerleading competition because Ferris did real well in it, and Red Oak did real well. So, yeah, Ellis County did real well. And when it comes down to the cheerleaders, they did pretty good.
They're doing a good job.
They're doing a good job.
The cheer squad, actually, they got first place in crowd leading cheers, and they also finished 4th place in the fight song and 5th place in the band chant. So that's cool.
That's
good
cool.
job. Good job, Red Oak.
Good job.
And St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I was in Dublin last year for St. Patrick's Day.
You went way to Dublin just to
I was in Dublin. It snowed.
Do you own an airplane service or something? Do you own American Airlines?
I think a sponsor for that, though.
Do you have frequent flyer miles?
I do. Right now I have 167,000 frequent flyer miles on American Airlines.
Really?
But I do not like that airline. But anyway.
But you get free tickets?
I digress. Well, yeah, yes, I can get free tickets. Yes, it's great to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's why you.
I need to marry a pilot. I need to marry a pilot.
Yeah, that's what you need with a jetliner,
Do you like St. Patrick's Day? What is your big thing that you do on St. Patrick's Day?
But really, you're supposed to drink green beer. I never did that one. You're supposed to put on green and all that good stuff. Really, around the house, the kids gets into it, so I get into it with the kids. They put on all the stuff, and then we got the littlest kid always is the leprechaun.
Do you have a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
No gold left, baby. No gold left. I wish it was. You know what I mean?
So if you have time, then go to Dublin for Ireland for St. Patrick's Day because it's really like ground zero for drinking beer.
Drinking beer. Do they really drink green beer?
They do, and it was the weirdest parade I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah, they had all these insect companies out in the parade. It was really interesting. I've never seen a parade like it, but Ireland is Ireland. So
well, down in I was in Louisiana, and they had a St. Patrick's. I was down there by LSU, and I happened to be there on St. Patrick's Day, and it's a big thing down there. I mean, they have the parades. Everybody got on greens. You see what's those little green flowers? What they call them?
Oh, the
Four-leaf
is it 3-leaf or 4-leaf clovers? Oh my
Four-leaf
God,
clovers.
clovers. We'll call them clovers. They're
They
good
would-
like,
yeah.
yeah. So that's very big. So
Yes.
la la la.
No, yeah, is that what they say over there?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, that.
No,
They
yeah,
give me
yeah.
another beer. Okay, so I'm Rita Cook,
And I'm Tommy Scott.
and thank you guys for being part of our show this week.